All right, let's dive into a really fascinating idea. What if, what if the way we design these safe, gentle worlds for kids could actually be a super powerful toolkit for adults? For those of us who feel totally overwhelmed by our loud, fast-paced world.
So, let me just start with a question for you. Do you ever feel like the world is just built a little louder than you are? If you've ever felt completely drained by noise, or big crowds, or just constant demands on your time and energy, then yeah, you are absolutely in the right place. This is for you.
Because what that feeling really means is that your nervous system probably thrives on things like clarity, gentleness, and a real sense of safety. And let's be clear, these are not weaknesses, not at all. Think of them more like your personal operating instructions. So today, we're going to look at how you can actually design your life around them.
And that brings us right to the core problem, doesn't it? It's this mismatch between how some of us are wired and the world we're all expected to just, navigate. A world that, for many, is just built too loud.
Think about it. So much of adult culture is built on these big assumptions. The assumption that we all have this endless sustained energy, that we can be on and engaged all the time, that we've all got a high tolerance for noise, for complexity, the whole shebang. Life is framed as this grueling marathon. But you know what? For a lot of sensitive or neurodivergent folks, that's just not reality. So what's the solution here? Well, it's a design philosophy that, honestly, we all already know. We just kind of forget to apply it to ourselves once we become adults. We're going to call it the child-centric solution. Okay, so what is child-centric design? At its core, it's all about protecting a developing nervous system. But here's the really cool part. Just swap out that one word, developing, for sensitive, and wow, the logic holds up perfectly. It's a system that prioritizes things like sustainability over raw endurance, regulation over just raw output, and comfort over constant stimulation. And I have to stress this. This is not about being childish. It's about smart, humane, intelligent system design.
And this comparison just lays it all out so clearly. On one hand, you've got adult culture, which demands constant engagement, high endurance, go, go, go. But on the other hand, you have these child-centric principles. They're built for bursts of activity followed by real rest. They honor the fact that endurance is limited, and they value simplicity. It's a totally different operating model.
And this is so, so crucial. Needing to work in bursts isn't some kind of failure of stamina. It's not. It's just a different way of balancing effort and recovery. And when you actually honor that rhythm, that's when you get more consistency and way less burnout. Okay, so this all sounds great in theory, but how do we actually put it into practice? Well, let's get into the practical stuff. We can apply these exact ideas to our daily lives, starting with designing our sensory experiences to cut down on all that unnecessary strain. So we're going to look at 5 key areas here. First up, tactile, making comfort your baseline. Then auditory, recognizing that quiet is what lets you think. Next is visual, choosing simplicity over a ton of stimulation. Olfactory, where neutral smells are actually a kindness to your system. And finally, taste, focusing on gentle, frequent nourishment. Okay, this is basically your cheat sheet. Super practical stuff. Like at home, you could create a comfort uniform, just really soft clothes. Or just declutter one single surface that you see all the time. At work or when you're out, noise-reducing headphones are a game changer. So are warm screen filters on your computer. These seem like small changes, but trust me, they can have a huge impact on your daily energy. Now, this whole design philosophy, it goes way beyond just our physical senses. Let's move on and see how these same ideas can help protect our emotional and social energy too. So the core idea here is really simple. Safety before sophistication. Think about it. Just like with a kid, if you can address discomfort or feeling overwhelmed early, it stops it from snowballing into something huge. And what that does is it reduces that constant exhausting effort of, masking, of pretending everything's fine when it's not. So how do we actually do that? Well, sometimes it's through things that we might wrongly dismiss as childish, like watching cartoons or reading simple stories. That's just low stakes, easy enjoyment. Or sticking with a small circle of trusted friends. That massively reduces the energy drain of socializing. And using clear, kind, direct language, it just takes away all the stress of trying to decode what people really mean. All right, and this brings us to what I think is the most important part of this whole thing. It's the final, crucial mindset shift. It's all about reframing these needs not as a deficit, but as an intelligent adaptation. I mean, society is constantly telling us to just push through, right? Handle more, tolerate more discomfort, more stress. But for anyone with a sensitive nervous system, that is a direct recipe for chronic exhaustion and burnout. It just sets a totally impossible standard. But let's be crystal clear here. This quote from the source material says it perfectly. These preferences you have for quieter, simpler, gentler things, they reflect your nervous system's wiring. They are not, and I'll say it again, they are not a sign of weakness or failure or personal inadequacy. It's just how you're built. So here's the bottom line. Choosing softer clothes or quieter spaces or keeping your social circle small, those aren't limitations. They are intelligent adaptations. They're smart, strategic ways to manage your energy. And they allow you to function sustainably so you can engage with the world more fully, but on your terms.
And that leaves us with one last really important question to take with you. Just looking at your own life, what's one small, gentle change you can design for yourself starting today?